Hey, John Yaks here, co-founder of Yaks Yoga Concepts and Awaken Life Movement. So today I want to talk to you about 4 steps to mastering any habit. And so, what is the habit in your life that drives you, that in a positive way or a negative way? If you could think about the one habit that you do daily that's either lifting you up or pulling you down, right? Almost immediately you could think, oh yeah, it's that. When we really look at our lives are just a culmination of all our habits. Like everything we do during the day is simply a habit that we've cultivated, right? Something that we put in that makes us feel a certain way. And this is important because when we're looking at shifting our life in a way, when we're looking at manifestation, like creating the next level, the next standard of living for us, whatever that looks like for you, it's all about putting in the habits. Because every major shift in our life is just a simple little change, right? A little shift. It's all little things. When I do this little shift, but I do it consistently every single day, AKA a habit, that moves the needle. That pushes us in the direction. That steers our ship, right? That's what makes the difference. So Chris and I have worked with high performance coaches, like people that can really look at our lives and say, here's what you're doing, here's where do you want to go, and then here's how you get there. And it always is the fascinating thing, it always comes back down to what are your daily habits? Like if you really want to go there, what are you doing daily to get you there, right? If I want to have an amazing relationship with my wife, what am I doing daily to cultivate that amazing relationship with my wife? If I want to change my work, if I want to make more money or do my life purpose and allow that to support me, what am I doing daily to move in that direction? Right? It's fascinating working with a coach because they really break it down. They're like, okay, what are you doing? And is that serving you? And then you gotta be honest with yourself. Say, no, not quite serving me. So what can you do instead? Because here's the thing. Working with a coach, what it did for me is initially I was like, oh, they're giving me more stuff. Like I already don't have enough time. I have 2 young kids. I have a business, multiple businesses I'm running. I'm trying to cultivate an amazing relationship with my wife, and so there's always stuff going on. I'm always juggling. And then working with a coach, it's okay. Here's some stuff I want you to implement. I'm like, I'm too busy. Dude, I can't add this to my life. There's too much going on already. But what it really has come down to, what it really comes down to is realizing that my life is just simply a bunch of habits. Not all of them are serving me. What I'm doing is taking new habits and replacing the old ones. So I'm shifting what I'm doing day to day to make that difference, to move me in the direction. So I can see that, oh, there's my dream and that's how I'm gonna get there. But now, so all of this starts with just a simple understanding of step 1. Step 1 is unconscious unskillfulness. Most of us, myself included, walk around not realizing that we have these habits, not realizing that this is what's actually driving us. So we're not conscious of it, and a lot of times, well, the habits aren't skillful. They're not supporting our life, right? They're not moving us in the direction we want to move in. And so the very first stage of this is just realizing that we got a lot of habits that we're not even conscious of. We've cultivated them over time, and we're so used to doing them daily, every day and daily, that they just feel natural to us. So they're not in our field of awareness. So the jump from unconscious unskillfulness to the next step, right, the next level, is cultivating some type of practice that's going to give us the realizations, right? It's going to create that self-reflectiveness so that we can say, oh, there it is. There's the pink elephant sitting in the room that I was walking around and never saw. There it is. This is one of my habits that does not serve me, right? And so what Chris and I have found the most skillful, the most effective, the most powerful way of getting to this second step is meditation. Hands down, meditation, right? Sitting with ourselves, cultivating, building that muscle of awareness so that as I'm moving, I can feel the impulse of a habit come up and decide and say, oh, there's this impulse, there's this drive, this emotional experience to move me in a direction, right? To move me in a direction, because emotion drives behavior. Emotion drives behavior. We have these habits that when we get into a moment in our lives without even realizing, or again, it's unconscious, an emotion comes up. And that emotion makes us take action. That emotion makes us move in a direction. And the habit manifests, right? The habit unfolds. And so through meditation, we can cultivate the awareness to feel that impulse come up and become conscious of our unskillful ways, right? It's like being able to see, I'm gonna cuss for a moment, so I apologize, being able to see our shit, right? Because we have to first understand, what is it that's not serving me? What is it that I need to clear out of my life? Right? What is it that I need to actually replace? Because you have good habits. You have habits that do serve you, habits that you don't want to get rid of. We want to be conscious of those, obviously, but we also, more importantly, we want to be conscious of the habits that don't serve us, because there are a new set of habits that we want to replace with those. So through mindfulness, through meditation, through self-realization, I can start to pick apart those habits that don't serve me by paying attention, becoming conscious of the impulse that comes up throughout the day. And saying, oh, okay, there it is. This muscle, I'm gonna say it again, this muscle is cultivated, right? Just like putting a weight in my hand and doing this, that muscle will get bigger. Meditation, sitting down and being with myself and noticing the habits that pop up, the patterns of consciousness, right? The habits that are already up here, noticing those and coming back to presence, building the muscle of this is going to give us that skill set so that throughout my day I can start to see my life from 1,000 feet up. I can get that real perspective, which is really the key here. Right? So once I get aware, I can begin to see the unskillful ways. I can see the habits that I'm like, I want to change this, I want to change that. I then move into conscious skillfulness. This is when I'm actually applying. I'm saying, this habit doesn't serve me anymore. I want to replace it with this habit that is going to serve me, right? The habit. So, for instance, I got jazzed up by a thought leader, Gary Vaynerchuk. This is years ago now, and Gary is big on hustling. Get into the hustle and work and cultivate, create, and spend all night long doing it. And so I got into this mindset of like, during my weekdays, I'm gonna go home and then I'm gonna after I spend time with the family and I get the kids to bed, I'm gonna go back at it and start working. And so I got in this habit of coming home from my day, spending time with my family, and then once the kids were asleep, I would go back to work. And so this is like 9 o'clock, I would work from 9 all the way till 12, 1 o'clock at night. And I was doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this. This recently, so working with a coach, I realized this isn't effective. What's more effective is getting sleep. What's more effective is being more scheduled and more on top of my day so that I'm getting the things that I need to do done, so that when I go home, I can spend time with my wife. I can replace that work habit of the evening with spending time with my wife and cultivating our relationship. I can spend time getting to sleep at a good hour, right? Getting to sleep at a time that's going to actually give me 8 hours of sleep, right? Give me enough sleep where I feel more effective the next day. I feel more on top of my day the next day. It's going to empower me, right? And so this is what I had to come to grips with. I was like, okay, here's a habit that I've done so long. It's been unconscious. I need to become conscious of it. What is it that I'm doing that's not serving me? And staying up till 1 a.m. working every night of the work week it's not serving me, right? I'm not being at my best, and it's affecting my relationship with my wife. So I need to say, okay, how can I replace that with a habit that is going to be skillful? And that habit that I replaced it with was, I'm going to spend time with my wife in the evening and cultivate a strong relationship with her. If there is some work that I need to do, I'll only do it on this day or this day, and I'll only do it for this amount of time. And then the other habit that I'm consciously setting in is I'm gonna get to bed at a good hour so that I get 8 hours of sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep, sometimes it's 7, but 8 hours of sleep is so vital for us, right? It makes such a difference. And by the way, I just learned recently that if you're getting 7 hours of sleep and you bump that to 8 hours of sleep, right? You just tack another hour on, you are 30% more productive the next day. 30%. That's huge, right? Huge. So 8 hours is really vital. That's the sweet spot. So this is what I've done. I've said, okay, that's not serving me. That habit isn't serving me. Let me replace it with a habit that is going to serve me. And so I'm in that process of implementing this habit and be more skillful with it. Now, here's the next stage. Once I implement that habit, I make it a habit by just doing it and doing it and doing it. I schedule it. Everything. I schedule it and see it, and so this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, so that eventually that habit, that conscious skillfulness, right? I'm consciously plugging in the skillful way of being, moves to the next level of unconscious skillfulness. It becomes a habit, right? You know this in your own life, something that a way of being that has served you. You're like, yes, that served me, and I don't have to think about it. Right? A real simple example is brushing your teeth. That is a good habit, right? That is for you, I guarantee it's an unconscious, skillful habit, right? Every day you just say, okay, now it's the time I brush my teeth. You don't have to think about it, right? It's like, now it's the time. I'm getting ready for bed, time to brush my teeth, right? You've created that skillful habit, so it's there for you, right? The habit that I'm cultivating is going to become unconscious, skillful way of being. So the whole process, right, this whole idea of how do I manifest my dreams? How do I go next level with my life? All comes down to creating habits. A mentor of ours, Brandon Bashar, wrote a book called High Performance Habits. And it's a beautiful book in that he breaks it down. Not only breaks it down, but he's done it in a way by studying high performers in all areas of life. Right? And what are they doing? What are their habits? What are they doing every single day that's moving the needle for them? And it's a game changer. So I definitely recommend checking that out. But in this process, there's some challenges, right? When we move from unconscious unskillfulness, this is the idea of that ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. But the idea that we don't know, we just stumble our way through, is like, okay, that's simple. When we can become conscious of our unskillfulness, that's the hard part. Right? This from here to here is the wall that we need to jump. Because when we get to here, it's sticky. Right? It's like I start to see that stuff that I'm like, I want to change that. I want to change that, but I don't know how. And then we work on ourselves. You say, okay, what do I want? Right? What is my intention, and how do I get there? What is that? What are the habits that I need to plug in? And then I just replace those bad habits with conscious skillfulness, with conscious good habits. And when that happens, and I do it enough, it becomes unconscious, and it moves me in the direction, right? I set the coordinates to go in where I want to be in this life. So I hope this serves you. I hope this helps in some way to just really understand, like it's a process, like everything, right? We grow by degrees, we heal by degrees, we move our lives by degrees. Right? It rarely happens in one fell swoop and everything changes. It always comes down to habits. And so cultivate these habits. Make a difference in your life. Comment below. Let us know if this is helping. Let us know how we can help, and then just keep an eye out for everything we have going on and all the good stuff we're putting out there. Hopefully putting out there to the world, making a difference. So, thank you for your attention. Thank you for watching, and create a masterpiece of your life.